What is up, guys? Welcome back to the TNT Business Podcast. I'm your host, KT Temple, and I am here with my cruise buddy slash co-host, Ken Temple. What's up?
I'm still mad at you.
Why?
So
You
just so
didn't
the
have a good
listeners
time on the
know,
cruise?
no, so the listeners know, I was on a really big call today with 2,000 people on it, and KT didn't show up.
I, he
Here's
told me while I was drunk on a cruise that he was going to do it, and therefore I did not remember that he told me he was going to be on it. Awesome, man. Well, we are going to do another war update. We don't do it because we want to. We do it because we have to. And this is affects so much around the economics of our country, and so we have to go into it. Before we get into that, I do want to thank our sponsor, the Temple Team. If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, you can find us at thetempleteam.com. We've got agents all the way from Statesville down to Fort Mill, and we're located in the Lake Norman, Charlotte area. And even if you're not looking in those areas, still reach out to us. We'd never want you to end up with a bad real estate agent. So we'll hook you up with the best possible real estate agents all across the country before you make any of your real estate decisions. So again, if you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, find us at thetempleteam.com. Are my ads getting better, Dad?
You're getting better. Yeah, you're getting
Okay,
better.
good.
So this your sponsor's happy right now.
Good. Awesome. I want to keep my job. All right, guys. So yeah, we the war is still going on. We are in a ceasefire, but it does seem like they are working towards a an agreement, a
And
preliminary
KT,
peace
I
deal.
think I think we should. So obviously today, this is a business podcast, and we're going to talk about how this affects the business world and especially the U.S. economy. Is what we're going to tell you about today. But I want to be clear. That is so far down the line of what really matters. I mean, there is a ton of loss of human life and human living conditions. That's the important thing is, I want all wars to end. And so I don't want to make light of the fact and go, well, all I want to talk about is business. We understand that that's secondary. Unfortunately, that's what our podcast is about.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Thank you for saying that. Um, yeah, so we've got a preliminary peace deal on June 14th, 2026. The U.S. and Iran reached a preliminary 14-point agreement via Pakistan to end the war. Key provisions include a 60-day cessation of hostilities, the destruction of Iran's enriched uranium, a $300 billion rebuilding fund backed by the U.S., and the resumption of Iranian oil sales.
All right. So we're going to talk about.
All right.
So here's the deal. So KT said it, and this is KT's big point is, when they were talking about the war is over. No, not really.
Yeah.
Um, we've got a framework with a ceasefire. The thing is with this ceasefire, it's already been violated by both sides,
Yeah.
so far. It
We were
hasn't
we were
been,
leaving. We were like he was about to go on the plane before me, and I'm about to go on the plane from the cruise that we were on. And he goes, "All right, good news." And I go, "Oh, you haven't seen what happened already."
yeah. Well, and the big thing is if this was just about the U.S. and Iran, we'd be better off. But there's between Israel and Hezbollah is also involved in this, and right now they're not shooting at each other. There's a lot of moving parts.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're not out of the woods yet. There's no guarantee that this is over. In fact, we're taping this late on Monday afternoon, and it's one of those times where I'm
Oh,
praying
dude,
we
I
have
was thinking about that. We might be real early on this episode
I
recording
mean,
it.
exactly. If something happens tonight or tomorrow, you'll never hear this.
Yeah.
this will this will be put in the trash. But right now, I want to talk about what we're seeing and what's going on. So, if you go back to right before this conflict started in late February, I think oil was just over $60 a barrel. That's where it was. Man, it hit. We went up over 100 for a while, and we stayed above 90. This whole time. Well, then it had already started coming down, and now with this going on, it actually got under 70 for a moment. Today, you're looking at it today, it's back just up and just over 70. So is 70 worse than 60? Yes. But is 70 a heck of a lot better than 90 or 100? Yes. So you're already feeling a little bit of relief when you fill up your gas tank. Yeah, I don't know, KT, where you are, if you've seen it yet, but our gas prices are down quite a bit here. Not near what
I
they were
drive
beforehand.
about 7 minutes to the office, so I
Yeah,
only
you can
fill
get
up
gas
like once.
once
I'll
every other
tell you
month.
next week when I have to fill up again.
Yeah. Well, anyway, they're already down considerably. This will also start translating into a lot of the food costs and things like that because
Yeah.
it'll start to get cheaper. But guys, don't you're besides, I'm telling you, really besides the price of gas, you're not going to notice a lot of change. You're just not. The gas you'll notice because you pay for it. You see the number when you're up there. The rest of it is not going to be a big deal. You know, we started the year, KT, talking about possibly having uh two, maybe some people thought maybe even three rate cuts this year, but I think two was probably the most popular number, or one. You know, at this point, KT, it's more likely that the Fed raises rates, and here's why. Inflation was already high. This war and the gas price and everything has caused it to go way up.
And
And
you're forgetting what last year's podcast was all about, these tariffs. I think you're finally going to start seeing the effect of those. A lot of the stores, all the non-perishables were purchased in bulk to get ahead of the tariffs.
Mhm.
Those supplies are now going down, and with this Iran war that we've been in, those supplies are very low, and you're going to start seeing all these different things come together at the same time to really see a price increase.
Yeah. And so right now, you know, we're looking at, if you're looking at mortgage rates, the average 30 years fixed has been 6.5, 6.6. It's kind of stayed in there. It's still in there. There hadn't been a big change since this happened. I've been watching, you know, the 10 years been coming down, and that could give you a little bit of relief. But at the end of the day, the Fed's not going to cut the rate this year. It doesn't look like. In fact, one or two rate hikes could be in there to get inflation under control. And so just don't. If you were going to, you know, do your happy dance because you thought, oh, war's over, and the, you know, the way interest rates were going
No, no,
down.
no, 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 Dad. You don't do a happy dance. You bet on Polymarket.
Yes,
Yeah.
okay, that, yes, that one too. But it's just not going to happen. It's You're just not going to see any big changes, especially to the positive direction. I don't think, with what's going on now. If and by the way, if you know you're in the real estate business, I'm just giving you the information. But you need to tell people, anybody that's waiting for the first number to be a 5 in terms of their 30-year fixed mortgage for the average, don't hold your breath.
Yeah,
And
everybody that I talked to last year, we were in, sixes and such, you know, they were waiting. And there is no point in waiting. If this year of stagnant rates hasn't told you anything, this again is the new normal of what to expect for some time, I think.
I think it is too. And we did. And it, again, I mean, I was in the, you know, house that was saying in December going to the first year to watch this, we're going to go down and we could get down to 5.9. I didn't think we'd get to 5.75 this year. But and you know,
You also
you look
didn't
at it,
think that we were
KT.
going to war with Iran. So
We did. Well, you know, on the Friday before the war started on Saturday, you know, one of the things I looked at said the average 30-year fix ended the day at 5.99. That was on Friday. And on Saturday we invade Iran and it opened up at like 6.35 on Monday. It
yep.
just like that. And then it's you know, it fluctuated a little bit, but we've gotten in the 6.5 to 6.6 range. And I just don't see a lot that's going to get it off there. Now, let me give you a couple good things. 6.5 is average since the early 70s. It's
Mhm.
a completely average rate that we have now. Let me give you something else. This time last year, rates were about 6.75. We're still lower than we were a year ago. So it just is what it is, and people have got to quit waiting on that rate game because
Well,
here's
and
what's happening.
here's the other thing. What hasn't changed is the cost of housing going up every year. And so
Now it
the
hasn't gone
more
up
you
near as
wait,
much, but it still goes up.
it
Just
still
yep,
goes up every year. So
yeah.
when you do wait and interest rates aren't changing, you are in fact making it more expensive for yourself. If you are able
We
to pull that trigger, the reason to wait is not there.
yeah, I don't have it. We did it on the podcast. You can go back, you know, a month ago and listen. But I'll give roughly. It was like in 1971, early 70s, and at that point rates were like at 7.2. And if you said I'm going to wait till they go under 7 before I buy a house, you would have waited 22 years. It went all the way to like 1993 before it went. You just can't play. You cannot play that weight game and win
Well,
most of
you don't
the
play
time.
the timing game. There's no timing this well
Yeah.
for you. You pull the trigger when you can and when you need to.
Well,
If you try to play the market on this, you're gonna sit there for a long time, and it could end up costing you more just for waiting.
when you buy a house, you have locked in the price of that house for as long as you own it.
Yep.
When you buy a house, you get an interest rate. Doesn't that you can change? You have the ability to change that over time. You don't have the ability to go back and go, oh, I know I paid 500 for it, but let's change it up and say I only paid 400, give me $100,000 back. It doesn't work like that. But you can get a rate now at 6.5. And if it does go to 5.5, you can refinance and change that element of it. But again, KT, there's no indications that I think we will be lucky if we don't get a rate hike this year. And I just don't see any way that they actually cut the rate this year, the Fed rate. It wouldn't make any sense for what inflation is. You don't hear, by the way, everybody thought as soon as the Fed chair changed,
Oh
they
yeah.
had the meeting, it didn't change. You didn't hear President Trump berating him for not reducing them. I, they saw inflation and went, oh crap, we can't, there is no cutting this. And it, I don't know. The most optimistic are saying that we could maybe stay flat through the year with maybe a hike in December is what I'm seeing now. But KT, one thing that we've learned, this stuff is fluid, man. I mean, we might have to do another podcast next week on something that happened that changed it.
Yeah.
The hardest thing that we do in real estate is try to figure out where the mortgage rates are going to go. Other stuff, we're usually pretty good on our predictions, even
I
if something
listened
major happens.
Yeah, I listened to this YouTube channel, Economics Explained, and he has a quote that he says in every single one. He goes, "No one can predict the future, least of all economists." I would put real estate agents at a level above that as far as predicting the future.
Yeah. So here's what you want to watch. If you're out there going, okay, what are we watching for? You want to watch and see that we keep peace. And the easiest way, if you want to know what's going on in this Iran war, just watch the price of oil, because that's going to tell you, are we firing on each other? Is the Strait of Hormuz open? Are ships coming through? Because that's what's going to move. If the Strait of Hormuz gets closed again, well, oil prices are going to shoot right back up. So that's actually an easy one to look at, but that's what we need. We need this ceasefire to be in place. We need ships moving. And KT, it is going to take a long, long, long time to build the oil reserves that all the countries want to keep back up, because everybody's been getting into them.
Yep.
It's going to be a long process to get those back to where everybody wants them.
No, we said this last time. The only real winner in all this was Russia, because they were finally able to sell their oil and get back to Europe, which they hadn't been able to for a long time, and this gave them that opportunity.
Yeah. Yep. So did I cover it pretty well? Is there anything else? Is there anything else you had on your deal that you wanted to ask?
I do. I want your opinion on the details of the deal and how much money this is going to cost America to make this deal happen. And by the way, that number that I gave you is not the set number. That is the minimum number. So
Yeah,
it could potentially be
and
more.
you said America backed it. So everything that I've seen has said that that the money will not come from us. So
Everything I have seen is the exact opposite, is that the money is absolutely going to come from us. Where is it coming from then? Who's paying $300 billion?
well, I think that's part of the 14-point plan they got to figure out is where that money's going to come from.
Where else?
But
It's not going to come from anywhere else. We started the war.
what does that do? I mean, that has absolutely nothing to do with whether or not we pay them money or not.
Who else would
the
pay
rules
them
of
money?
war is that nothing makes sense. Okay, so
But who? But then who would? Where would $300 billion come from except from America?
KT, do you have any idea how much money we give every year to other countries that we just give?
Yes,
Well,
very
other
much so.
countries do that too. We're not. See, you kind of like to bash us, but right now you're making like we're the only people that give any money out there. That's not the way it works.
But I'm
There's
curious.
a lot of people. Well,
where
all
else would the
countries in
money
Europe
come
that
from?
would like to have their oil will give
Okay.
money to build them back up.
Okay, I
So, I
haven't heard
mean,
any other country say that they are offering any money into that pot.
I haven't heard and you haven't heard US either. That's what I'm saying. They haven't said.
Okay. All right. I will keep tabs on that thing because I just can't imagine money coming from anywhere else to make that in besides from us.
It wouldn't make
I'd be
much sense
really
for
curious to find out
it.
who's getting footed for the bill for the war we started.
Yeah. So, all right, I just hit it, and here's what it says. We
Okay.
don't know anything about who's going to fund the 300 billion.
Okay.
I just Google search it. It says we don't know who's going to do it.
We
I
just
know
set
that
a number,
Trump has said that we will not do
and Mexico's going to build the wall.
it. Well, yeah, but you just sometimes I wonder what you look at versus what I look at.
I know it's very different. We often come to these and it's very different.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Well,
okay, we'll keep.
you and I have had very different takes on where we are in the ceasefire too, on this. So,
I don't think
um,
so. No, they've been the same. I don't think there's been any difference there, but there's definitely a difference in who we think's going to pay this bill.
yeah. So, KT, I looked it up real quick just to see, and it's saying that the money's going to come from outside investment,
Oh,
and the United States has committed to helping them secure outside investment.
okay.
So,
All
I
right.
mean, a lot of it could be, they're letting them sell oil for the first time. I mean, that's already happened. Is they let Iran sell oil instead of banning that. I mean, that's
Mhm.
already gonna build coffers.
Okay.
At the end of the day, you have to remember the real reason that this war happened is for them not to have nuclear ability
Mhm.
and everything. So,
It wasn't because Israel ran a PowerPoint and got Trump to jump on it.
no, it's all about it's
Okay.
all about their nuclear program. And um, so, KT, who broke the ceasefire first?
Of which ceasefire are you referring to?
This last one, the last one, who broke it first?
I don't know.
Iran did, and here's
Okay.
why. This is what they're known for is like, okay, let's get everybody to stop shooting and say we'll do all this stuff, and then we're going to start throwing up these things like look over here, so that they can keep on the nuclear program. I mean, this has been going on for decades. Where they're, oh yeah, we'll do that, and then they do everything they can to not do that. They want to have nuclear weapons.
They should
And
want
so
that.
that's going to continue to be the sticking point.
They wouldn't.
Because
What reason would they not want to have it? Of course, they want to have it.
Well, the main reason you wouldn't want to have it is I would get tired of people blowing me up, which is what's happening to them
I
right
get
now.
it, but of course they want a nuclear program.
Well,
Yeah,
that's what cannot happen.
and but that's not going to stop them from wanting it. They are always going to want a nuclear program. Every country in the world wants a nuclear program.
Well, like
Yeah.
I say, that's why this is going on. Is they're gonna that's of the 14-point plan. That's going to be the hardest point.
Uh-huh.
Is getting around that because that's why we did this. And by the way, if it if the nuclear program doesn't come off the table, we'll either do it again now or we'll do it again in however
Yeah.
many years
It's
because
that.
they will stop them from having it.
Yeah. Well, they're always going to try to have it. It's a ridiculous thing to go after because they're going to continue to want a nuclear program. Every country in the world wants a nuclear program. You know,
See, I don't, KT, I don't agree with that.
and
It,
nuclear
the
energy
last thing that
exists. You
we
have
need
to
is
want to
everybody
have
having
it,
a nuclear bomb. I don't know where you get that
or
from.
no
It's
nuclear power. You want nuclear
There's
power,
completely different things.
but you're still going to
That's
need a nuclear program, regardless of what nuclear you want to do. You're going to want it.
obviously this is probably a subject that KT and I should not cover because some of the stuff he says just doesn't make any sense. Like that
I
we're going to pay them $300 billion and like they want every country wants a nuclear. I'm pretty sure that every country probably is like, I just really would like to have food and medicine here and forget that other stuff. Here's what they want. They will make their people suffer by doing this, which is what they're doing now,
Mhm.
trying to blow up the entire Middle East. And Katie, will never, in anybody's lifetime, will never fix the Middle East. They've been
Yeah.
fighting over the Middle East for thousands and thousands of years. But that's why we have to keep it so that no one there has the ability just to blow everybody up. If we don't, it could be the end of the world as we know it.
All right, guys. Well, this has been the TNT Business Podcast with KT Temple and Ken Temple. If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, find us at thetempleteam.com. We'll see you guys again next week with another episode.
I can't wait to see the feedback on this one. If people
it's going to be great. Great.
Yeah, you think?
Oh, yeah. I'm sure they love just listening to a father and son ramble. We'll see you guys next week.
See you.